All right, welcome everyone to today's Fitness Myths Busted webinar. Short and sweet for you here today. Thanks for joining us for the 3 p.m. stretch break. And the whole EXOS team is here to talk about those fitness myths that you hopefully saw in our quiz that we've posted on SharePoint and our Slack channel and kind of all over the place here. So the whole purpose of this webinar today is really to help you separate fact from fiction. So we know that social media is full of opinions, so many opinions, and pseudoscience and things that are almost true but not quite, or things that might be true for men but not women, and vice versa, or certain age groups. So we're here to help educate you, and that's why we're here every day. So we want you to be educated, have the facts, so that you can make the best choices for yourself and for your family and for anyone who comes to you for advice. So we hope you get a lot out of this. So I will turn it over to Jazzy and Luis to take us away with some of these fitness myths.
All right, fitness myth number 1. I can eat as much as I want without gaining weight as long as the food is healthy and I exercise daily. Is this true or is this false? And as much as we all want this to be true, unfortunately, this is false. So the main kind of reason why we can't really be doing that is because, first of all, every single body is going to be different. And when we're trying to eat as much as we want and, we think we're not going to be gaining weight, our exercise will not be able to offset that. So on Friday on Slack, we posted that meme with the football player chasing after another guy, because it was, acting like he was, the little guy was eating whatever we want on the weekend, right? And eating in a calorie deficit, and the big guy was chasing after him and tackling him. That was, all the unhealthy foods we eat over the weekend. And, even if the food is healthy, food is food, and food has calories. So regardless of if you think it's healthy or not, it's still going to add up by the end of the day. The other part of that is, right, that food is healthy, but also maybe for someone else is not healthy. So what may be healthy for me may not be healthy for someone, like, for example, that has celiac disease, that can't eat gluten. So bread is definitely not healthy for them, right? But I can digest it, so it may be healthy for me. So that's kind of, the underlying basis of this myth. If, Brittany and Luis, do you have anything to add to that?
All I will say is that I have had this experience before. You can train for an Ironman, you can train for a marathon, and you can still gain weight. And it is not fair, because that is the reason many of us sign up for those events anyways. And, even if you're burning 2, 3, 4, 5,000 calories a day, it is still very possible to overcompensate and gain weight. And like Jazzy said, calories are calories.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you ladies said it best. I don't really have anything else to add that would be something you guys haven't already said. So, well said. All right, so next one. If I'm not sore the day after my workout, I didn't work out hard enough. And this is a really common myth, something that I've had people ask me myself. And I would say first of all, if I'm not sore the day after the workout, I didn't work out hard enough, that is false. Don't let soreness be the indicator as to whether you think you worked hard or not. And things that predicate soreness in the body are novel movements. So if you get into something, doing something new, you might have some soreness after. If you go into a workout and you're doing something that is higher volume or higher intensity, maybe you're moving more weight than you did last week, you might get some soreness. And then the last one that usually causes soreness would be the duration of your exercise. Say you worked out for twice as long as you did last week, this week, that might give you some soreness. So those are the kind of the main things that cause soreness in the body when we're working out. And it's important to note that, hey, you might not be sore after a really quality training session the previous day. And so don't let soreness be your indicator as to whether you worked hard or not. Guys, anything else to add?
I know one, I actually have a kind of funny story about this. So last Thursday, I taught my dumbbell class in the mornings, and I used my 5 pound dumbbells for that because I don't want to overwork myself when I'm teaching because, I train really hard outside of work. So I want to make sure I'm not, further hurting myself or anything. And I apparently do not work my adductors enough, and we did lateral squats with my 2 5 pound dumbbells, and I was so sore the next day after it when I had literally squatted 225 pounds that morning. And I wasn't sore from the squats, I was sore in places that were different because of my lateral squats that I did. So just, like Louis said, that novel movement, something you haven't done in a long time, like that might make you a little bit more sore, but we can't gauge a good workout on soreness. There's a lot of other factors that go in there, and sometimes soreness is more of an aspect of under recovery versus overtraining, which is a whole nother topic in itself. So yeah.
Yeah, well said. We'll definitely get into that overtraining, I think, in the future. Looking forward to getting into that. Okay, I think we are ready for the next one. Perfect. Okay, so I can't build muscle with body weight workouts. This has definitely been a topic that people have come to know with this last year, with the pandemic and everything. A lot of people are working out from home. Not everyone is fortunate enough to have the gym equipment in the home. And when we're doing body weight workouts, I think a lot of people think about squats, push-ups, your kind of basic stuff. And body weight workouts are all about leverage. How can we leverage our body mass? And a good example as to why this myth is false is calisthenics and gymnastics. Have you guys ever watched the Olympics or anything like that? You'll notice people who do a lot of calisthenics and or gymnastics, which is all body weight exercise, they're pretty built, they're pretty big. So you definitely can build muscle with body weight workouts. It really just depends on how you're leveraging your mass, how much your volume, or how high is your volume, how high is your intensity, and other stuff like that. So definitely false on this one. I definitely want to encourage people out there to do a lot of body weight exercise, become really good at body weight exercise, because that's a great foundation for a lot of different movements. Guys, anything else that I missed?
I mean, I think you've pretty much nailed that too with volume, because you build muscle by progressive overload and volume. So you can still have that in without any weights, right? Just trying to beat your logbook, get a few more reps each time, switching up, isometrics, eccentrics, things like that. So there's definitely many ways to vary your workout if you don't have any equipment and still be able to build that muscle and build that strength.
Yeah, I think some real world examples of this could be important. So, TRX comes to mind. It's suspension training. You're using straps, but it's your own body weight that you're using to build muscle. And that was started by Navy SEALs who were deployed, and they were doing body weight exercises in, a space where they couldn't go outside or do anything. And eventually, they were super athletes already. But they got really good at push-ups and crunches and all that kind of stuff, and wanted to find a way to make body weight harder. So that's the short story of how TRX got invented. And don't tell me those guys aren't jacked, because they are very athletic. And a couple other real world examples that come to mind are surfers and cowboys, that country strong type thing. So body weight definitely has its place.
Absolutely. Jazzy, I'm super glad you mentioned eccentrics and isometrics, because those are also big things that affect how our muscle fibers are traumatized a little bit, and then they heal and become bigger. So Brittany, also great input, love it. TRX is legendary. I think we're ready for our next one.
All right, this one, I love this one. Training abs every day alone won't burn belly fat for me to get a 6-pack. So this myth is technically, the way we've worded it, this is true. So we cannot spot reduce body fat from a certain place in our body. So if we do a core workout every single day for the rest of forever, we're not guaranteed to show a 6-pack. And that primary reason is because if we want to burn any sort of body fat, our body is not going to, direct that fat loss in one area. Our body knows body fat as a total, and it won't be, our bodies are smarter than we think they are, and they're going to, gradually drop body fat overall throughout the body. So also, another thing too is when we have a certain area of our body that carries more body fat than ever, like the other places, then we have more body fat to lose in that one area. So that's likely going to be the last place that we're going to be losing that body fat in. And in order to burn that body fat, we do need to be, eating in a caloric deficit, so that, as body fat loss is based more on, diet versus, doing 5,000 sit-ups every single day. So that's kind of the short of why this is not really, we can't really spot reduce any of fat off of our bodies. But Brittany or Louis, do you have anything else to add to that?
I'd like to add that you can build muscle if you do 5,000 crunches every day. You will build muscle. You will get stronger. That doesn't necessarily mean you're burning body fat. And I think that's where a lot of the confusion with this one comes in, is those two things are almost mutually exclusive, I would say. So, you can get a really nice six pack, but you might not be able to see it just because of the layer of fat that's on top. And once again, it's one of those things that's not fair, but it is how it is.
Yeah, Brittany, you hit that right on the head. I'm also thinking, I think the abdominal area is definitely what we think of, because a lot of people, that's where our bodies tend to store a lot of fat, and a lot of people, think, all right, let me work my abs really hard and I'll get rid of this fat. But fat building, the reality is the fat buildup happens all around the body, and the same can be said for all other areas of the body. We can't just bicep curl our way out of, a flabby arm kind of thing. So yeah, definitely. Good stuff there. Good stuff.
It's definitely one thing that we all wish we could do, right? But our bodies are smarter than we give them credit for, and our bodies don't care how much body fat we do or do not have. It cares about keeping us alive. So sometimes we got to fight biology for aesthetics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well said.
All right, well, that is all we have today for our first webinar on fitness myths. We will be doing more of these, don't you worry. Thanks for joining us. This will be up on YouTube. We're also going to list some of the resources that we cited. This webinar was not all our opinions, right? That's what we're trying to help with, is separating fact from opinion. So we'll have some of those links. We know we have a lot of people who are into reading the research out there, so that'll be up there for you on YouTube in the notes. Yeah, Jazzy and Luis, anything else you'd like to add before we sign off for the day?
Yeah, one closing thought, if you're watching this, live or recorded, and you can think of, something that comes to mind quickly for a myth that we haven't already addressed, please, contact us, let us know. We would love to dive into other stuff that, people bring to us, and not just stuff that we as a team can come up with. So open to submissions, I guess we should say.
Last thing that I do want to say is, don't believe everything you read on the internet. It's not always true. It's very easy to look up, things that support your opinions, and there's, things like confirmation bias. So not everything you read from everyone is going to be 100% factual. So I definitely encourage everyone to do their own research, and as well use us, because we will help you do the research. And we also sometimes do have better answers than what you might find on Instagram or from your, local fitness influencer. So just be mindful about what you see on the internet.
Yes, and I think that is a great way to end this webinar. So please reach out if you have questions or suggestions of fitness myths you want busted. You can leave a submission on our Slack channel. You can DM one of us. Our Autodesk emails are first.lastname@autodesk.com. We're easy to get a hold of. So we look forward to hearing from you. Thanks for joining today.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.